What's up, my Essential Units? It's Essential Man here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. So going back to the year of 1997, the Hart family made their triumphant return to Canada for this pay-per-view I'm going to review right now. That is In Your House 16, Canadian Stampede, at the Canadian Airlines Saddledome. Right now it's called the Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, on the 6th of July 1997. The attendance of the show was 12,151. In Your House Canadian Stampede received about 165,000 pay-per-view buys. Vince McMahon, Jim Ross, and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. Before I watch and attempt to review the show, I never saw this pay-per-view before. I heard good things about this show. For many wrestling fans, this is the best pay-per-view that the WWF/WWE ever produced in any era. It's on the same level as probably Money in the Bank 2011. I reviewed it last year. I said Money in the Bank 2011 was the best pay-per-view in the modern era of WWE. And I think it's the best pay-per-view in the 1990s in any wrestling company at the time, whether it's in WWF, WCW, and ECW. It's the best in the 1990s. And I looked up like the Wrestling Observer at the time really was this show as the best pay-per-view of the year. And yeah, I'll get to my final rating of this show at the end of this review. So this show was based off two things. One, it's based on an annual event in Canada. It's called the Calgary Stampede. It's a rodeo festival. And two, the name Stampede is based off Stu Hart's promotion in the 1940s called Stampede Wrestling. That was around the 1940s all the way to the 80s when the McMahons bought the company, and then in later years they end up sold the company back to the Harts. Anyway, so this show is a homecoming for the Hart family. Anyway, so and also I like the commentary dress up like cowboys. Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler, dressing up like cowboys. I know Jim Ross wears the cowboy hat because I think he's from Oklahoma. That's I don't know. I think that's in the southern states of America. I'm not too sure on it, but you don't get it in today's pro wrestling events. You don't see announcers and ring announcers. Basically dressing up like, getting into the gimmick. I know we got gimmick themed pay-per-views in WWE. You don't see today's WWE product dressing up getting into the theme of the pay-per-view. I heard WCW did Bash the Beach 2000. They dress up they're wearing Hawaiian t-shirts, wearing bucket hats. I wish AEW do the same thing, getting into the gimmick of the show, their Dynamite shows. If they do for example, Beach Break, or I don't know when they do Bash at the Beach or Jericho's Cruise, they dress up wearing Hawaiian t-shirts, wearing bucket hats, or what's that show? St. Patrick's, St. Patrick, what's it called? The St. Patrick's Slam, they call it. They're wearing green. It was getting close to St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, you don't get that in pro wrestling, man. I wish they go into do that, But anyway, so the I think for the fall for all, this is a dark match. I'm gonna do a quick result. You got the Godwins. I think you had the Godwins defeating the New Blackjacks. The New Blackjacks is Barry Windham and the future JBL, by the way. Anyway, the first match to kick off the Canadian Stampede show. We've got Mankind taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That's Triple H, by the way, with China in his corner. This is a rematch from King of the Ring, the previous month actually, when they met in the finals of the 1997 King of the Ring tournament, and Triple H, or Helmsley, who will become Triple H, by the way, was in later parts of 1997, by the way. Went on to defeat Mankind to win the tournament. So this is this match was kind of like a bonus match. There's no build to this. It's just basically this is their rematch from King of the Ring. I said in my review, this match was good, by the way, but this is similar to their previous match at King of the Ring. a lot of interference by China. I'm not speaking ill of the dead. I'm just saying that I'm yeah, I'm just saying that China in those matches, you know, the match at King of the Ring and this match, she got involved a lot. You know, it really makes Helmsley look weak. He cannot beat his opponent by himself. Just rely on his colleagues to do the job, help him win the match. By the way, there's one the whole bulk of the match you had yeah the whole bulk of the match, you had basically Helmsley working on the leg of Mankind. There was one spot, you know, you had Helmsley Irish Whip Mankind, and China kind of scoop slammed Mankind into the steel steps. He selling the knee injury. He's one of his knee kind of clipped the edge of the steel steps, and then Helmsley worked on the leg of Mankind. I think one time Helmsley locked in the figure four leg lock. I understand why, because, you know, he idolized Ric Flair as a kid. You know, go and watch Triple H's documentary, Thy Kingdom Come. That documentary was released in 2013. Anyway, there were a lot of interference by China. You had Helmsley hitting Helmsley hit Mankind with the steel chair. The match ended in a double countout. You know, it's just furthering up the rivalry. And later on in the show, you had Helmsley and Mankind brawling. They were brawling outside they were brawling outside in the crowd and outside the arena. I think Helmsley was bleeding. I think there were teasing like Triple H trying to, or Helmsley. I know he becomes Triple H, by the way. My apologies, but Helmsley was trying to hit Mankind with the pedigree. I think it was on some black wood or something. But instead, Mankind carried it with a back body drop, and that was it. Yeah, this is sort of a steel cage match at SummerSlam the following month, and then the whole Free Face of Foley kind of cranked it up. You know, when Foley introduced Dude Love and Cactus Jack. I really like this match. You know, the chemistry. Yeah, they had good chemistry. Helmsley and Mick Foley. You know, it's funny that Triple H and Mick Foley won't win their first world title 2 years later in 1999. Mick Foley won his first world title at the beginning of the year in '99, and Helmsley, Triple H in the summer of 1999. So it's very funny. Like, you end up like. It's funny that like they'll fight a few years later, you know, at SummerSlam '99 in the Triple Threat match, and again in the year 2000, including the Hell in a Cell match, when both Helmsley and Mick Foley were in the main event scene. So, before we get to the next match, need a drink. And also, they treat this show like an actual, like, this show's before SummerSlam, by the way. They treat it like a Canadian version of SummerSlam. Because at this moment in time, SummerSlam was never held in Canada until, was it 2004? It was 2004 they held it in Canada. But they had the Farmer Sisters singing the Canadian national anthem. That was in the middle of the show, but I wish they did it in the start of the show. Like if you watch WrestleManias, you know, you had someone singing the American the Great before the actual show began, but that's just me. But anyway, they treat it like a big deal. It's a shame this is the one and only Canadian Stampede in WWF/WWE history. It's a shame. I'll get to more in my final rating of this review. So anyway, let's get back to reviewing these matches, by the way. There was only 4 matches on the show, by the way. The next match, this is a light heavyweight division match. We got Taka Michinoku taking on the Great Sasuke. The light heavyweight division, they're trying to compete with WCW's cruiserweight division at the time, but unfortunately they never they didn't work out. You had the future champions over the years like Dean Malenko and Jerry Lynn, it's like the cruiserweight division from recent years in 2016, the purple division. I don't want to get in depth about it, You got these guys, but they're not really sure to get over. They never got the chance to give it some exposure. So, anyway, it's a good exposure to see the Great Sasuke and Taka Michinoku. By the way, Taka Michinoku will become the first light heavyweight champion later on in the year. and be part of Kaientai. That will be 1998 with Funaki and Dick Togo. The match was good. I really like this match. Not a great match, it was fast paced. It was technical style wrestling, strong style, and a lot of cruiserweight moves mixed in one. I'm not saying it's a fantastic match, but it was a really good match. I really like it. Taka hit the Great Sasaki or Suzuki with the Minuchu driver it's called, but he kicked out. In the end, Suzuki hit Taka with the what was it called, a Tiger Bomb for the win. And at least Taka ended up getting signed with the company. With the Great Suzuki, he never got signed with the company. I think it could help the light heavyweight division. I think the reason why the cruiserweight division got some success over WWF's light heavyweight division, because it never truly caught fire, has to do with Conan. Conan was a road agent at the time. Was hiring guys like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero and Psychosis and Hufutu to the cruiserweight division in WCW had that international feeling. But with the light heavyweight division and then in the 20 odd years later with the cruiserweight division, it doesn't really have the international international feeling. They really don't have any international stars compared with the cruiserweights. You've got stars from Japan and Mexico and Canada. With the cruiserweight division from 2016, Akira Tozawa not getting over. Got the luchadors like Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado and Kalisto. Same, not getting over. It's just, I don't want to get in details of why the cruiserweight division flopped. That's a future topic for another time, but it's just what it is. That's my spiel on it. But I think the cruiserweight division was a success in WCW. Like I said, international feeling, got these stars from Mexico and Japan and other countries. It felt like an international division with the light heavyweight division, and then X division got an international vibe. Like I said, I'm going to get into it, but it's just like one night and day. One's hot, one's not. So anyway, that's my spiel on it. So moving on to the next match. So the next match, this is for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. We got The Undertaker defending the World Wrestling Federation Championship against Vader with Paul Bearer in his corner. By the way, the original match was supposed to be Undertaker versus Ahmed Johnson for the title. Unfortunately, suffered a knee injury. This was during the feud between, the start of the feud between, the Nation of Domination and the DOA. That's Crush's group, because the Nation fired both Crush and Savio Vega out of the group. Crush forms DOA, and Savio Vega forms Los Boricuas. So, Vader was filling in. I'll get some more. I'll talk about more Vader after this match. I'll talk about. This is more between Undertaker and Paul Bearer, because Bearer turned on the Undertaker the previous year in 1996. Then the rivalry cranked up a bit when basically you had Mankind throwing the fireball in the face of the Undertaker. Then at Revenge of the Taker, Taker got his revenge, fired the fireball in the face of Paul Bearer. Never get the whole situation with the whole Bearer, he ditched the white skin, the dark hair and the mustache. He ended up growing back the mustache, but he had normal face, ginger hair. I get it, trying to get his deformity, but because at the moment in time that gimmick was getting stale, getting old, but I'm glad they changed it up a bit. So they did this whole storyline with the whole, the secrets, on the Go Home show to Raw. For the show, you had, Paul Bearer revealing the dark secret of the Undertaker. Undertaker set fire the funeral home and killed his family. Go and check out my review of that Raw, on this channel. It's what was it? This is the 6th. This is the 30th of June's episode of Raw of that year. So it's not between Vader and Taker. It's more between Taker and Paul Bearer. So the match was good. I really like this match. Both two good men. Taker is more of he's tall, he's big, but he's more of the athleticism. With Vader, he's more of the strength. I really like this match. You had Vader, you had Bearer showing. He basically won more of the match. You had Taker trying to go after Bearer. Vader cheap shot Taker, and then Bearer, Paul Bearer hit the Undertaker with his shoe, and just say murderer, murderer. In that promo, he said like he said about you got something about looking, you got no way to look in the mirror because you're a murderer. Like he said murderer. I like that, But anyway, there was one botch. There was one botch, by the way. One major botch. So Vader, Taker was going for the Tombstone Power Driver. Vader countered it. He was going to hit Undertaker with his own version of the Tombstone Power Driver, but he kind of like lost his footing, and that almost led to a bad ending. But I'm glad to recover. So in the end, Vader was going for the Vader bomb. Taker got up, hit Vader with the choke slam off the top rope, hit the Tombstone Power Driver for the win. And this is a break between Undertaker and Paul Bearer because they take a break from it because Undertaker went on to face Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels in the rest of 1997. They kind of rekindled the rivalry in late 97, early 1998 with the debut of Kane, and that continued all the way to WrestleMania 14 and the Infernal match at Unforgiven in Your House. That's a future pay-per-views for another time. So Vader never, I don't think, not too sure. I think Vader never got one touch of the WWF title ever again. He never touched the world title ever again. And the reason why he's there because Ahmed Johnson got hurt, and at the same time Vader was in the doghouse. The reason why he was at the doghouse because the WWF was touring in Kuwait. You can find it on the internet. You had Vader attack an interviewer when he said wrestling is fake. It really offended Vader, and he was in the doghouse. He's very lucky not got fired, but it's a shame how Vader never got the championship. In the WWF, he was world champion in New Japan. He was the world champion in WCW, but in the World Wrestling Federation / WWE, he's never was the world champion. I don't know. Maybe it has to be timing. I don't know. He should have really won the world title in 1996. Instead of Cycle Sid defeating Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series of 1996, she should probably had Vader defeating Shawn for the title. Give him a mini run, see what he can do. It's a shame he's no longer with us. It's a shame. It's just they missed the boat on Vader. He might be. It's a shame. I don't know if he didn't fit the style. I don't know. I think he fit the style pretty well. I think he fit the WWE that well, but it has to do with timing, and and then the whole stuff in Kuwait really killed his career, man. So, he just died. He died 4 years ago, by the way. So anyway, let's move on to the main event. So the main event, this is a 10-man tag team match. So we got Stone Cold Steve Austin teaming up with the Legion of Doom, Goldust, and the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, taking on the Hart Foundation. It's Bret Hart, Owen Hart. At the time, he was the Intercontinental Champion. The British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. At the time, he was the European Champion. Jim the Anfield Neidhart, and the Loose Cannon Brian Pillman. So you could tell, like, the Hart Foundation. I'm going to talk about it briefly, by the way, before we talk about this match. I think at the time, maybe it was at the time they were very underrated because it has to do with Bret and Bulldog, left on very bad terms. But I think they treat the Hart Foundation like a big deal because in America they'll treat like scum, the heels. But in Canada, like I said, this show is a homecoming for the Harts. Bulldog's wife, Diana, escorting Bulldog into the ring. She was at ringside in the crowd with her mom and dad and her brother. Was it Bruce and Keith? Anyway, so they were holding the gold. Because you had before that you had Owen and Bulldog are the mid card champions, the European and Intercontinental champions. They were the tag team champions, but they dropped the belts to Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin. The last faction, really, the yeah, the corporation a year later. But the next good faction for the company has to be with all the gold, by the way, has to be Evolution in 2003, and the last faction won all the gold. Yeah, it was the Hurt Business in 2020, and before that, the Shield in 2013. They got really that bit, made them like a big deal, like a threat. You're not gonna get that ever again in any pro wrestling company, whether it's in the WWE or in AEW. So you can tell like the fans. This is Bizarro World, by the way. You had like basically cheering the hearts, because I think they were, and also by the way, this show was filming the Bret Hart documentary. That's wrestling. Was it Wrestling with Shadows? And that documentary also covered the Montreal Screwjob. That'll be later on in the year. We'll get to that show later on in the year in November. So yeah. You could tell. Yeah. What I'm saying. Got off the topic. So yeah, they were cheering. Yeah, this is the start of Bizarro World. Cheering the heels and booing the baby faces. You can tell like they kind of cheer Austin a bit, and then by the time Austin hitting Brett in the ring, you can tell the fans were booing Austin. They're trying Austin sucks, Shamrock's sucks because of Ken Shamrock. They don't need to do anything in the ring because they got the crowd in their palm of their hands. You don't need to do anything flashy. This is match of the night for me. This is probably one of the best 10-man tag teams match in pro wrestling history. It's very rare to see a really good multi-man tag team match. I really like it. It was really good. Everyone has their moments. The one more of the match you had Owen, basically Austin attacking Owen, put him out, worked on the knee of Owen Hart. You won't see Owen for a little bit, and then they attacked Austin. He was out for a little bit. You had Austin basically going after, I think it was Brett's brother, like older, was it Bruce? And I think he was going after Stu a bit. Trying to keep it short and simple. This was really good. It was starting to be like I don't say overbooked. It was starting like turning into a war, a brawl. In the end, I think in the end, Owen rolled up Austin for the win for the Hart Foundation, and then afterwards it was starting, and then it was a brawl, and then Austin grabbed the chair, hit Neidhart with the chair, and then the rest of the Hart Foundation attacked Austin, and then Austin ended up getting arrested. This is the start of a gag for Austin, him getting arrested. He got arrested later on in the year when he Stone Cold stood Vince McMahon. Then I think the last time he got arrested in a wrestling TV show, that's just kayfabe by the way, was against when he got arrested by, I think it was like in 2002. It's not real life. It's not real life by the way. It was just part of the show. But it was a really good victory for the Hart Foundation. And then you got like the rest of the Hart family going into the ring. You got the kids. The future kids will become future wrestlers in the next two like 2.5 decades. I think you had Bulldog's kids. I think you had Harry Smith. That is D.H. Smith. Maybe you had Georgia Smith. You had Teddy Hart. You had Natalia. Her real name is Natalie or Natty. Don't know about Tyson Kidd. I think at the time, T.J. Wilson, Tyson Kidd and Natalia were not as a couple at the time. You can watch. I think it was the first episode or the third. I think it was one in the early episodes of the first series of Total Divas. Natalia says, her and TJ, they were kind of like TJ was picking on Natalia as a kid, and then when TJ was starting to get into wrestling, they're starting to get into as a couple. So yeah, they're married right now, but so it's really sad. I think this is the emotion part. If you watch the show, I wasn't choked up, this is the high point for this family. I think the low point has to be the Montreal Screwjob later on in the year. It's really the next Canadian pay-per-view for the company later that year was Survivor Series in Montreal. I don't know, like I say, you have to wait until November. It's really for the high point for this family. It's really sad knowing in the next few years a lot of change for this family. It's going to happen in a very bad way. Like seeing Owen holding his kid, he's holding a little Canadian flag. you got to be saying, oh, holy shit, you know, in 2 years' time, we're not going to see Owen Hart again, you know, and then after that, you're not going to see actually before that you won't see Pillman ever again because he died in October of that year. Then Owen, and then in 2002 we lost Bulldog, and then recently in the recent years of 2018, I'm trying to say, my apologies, we just lost the last original member of the Hart Foundation died was Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So Bret was the only solo survivor of that faction. So anyway, enough of yeah. It's just sad, you know. Like I said, sad. Like some of these guys in the Hart Foundation will be dead for the next few years. It's just shocking. But anyway, so enough of the bummer side, you know, the emotional side. But yeah, my final rating for the one and only Canadian Stampede, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. For many fans saying this is the best pay-per-view they ever did, believe them. This was a good show. Nothing in the bad, nothing in the okay. It started out good with Mankind and Helmsley, and ends strong with the 10-man tag team match. You know, I like the Taka Michinoku versus the Great Sasuke match, and I like the Undertaker Vader match. So yeah, it's a shame they never made it like an annual pay-per-view. I know Bad Blood went on to do more pay-per-views in the Ruthless Aggression era. Yeah, they did too, you know, in 2003 and 2004. But I wish, it's a shame they will never get there ever again. You know, making like a pay-per-view internationally, like a big thing, a big deal. But it's a shame. But it's a shame they never made more. Because yeah, the show. It's a shame. Maybe it has to do with the pay-per-view buy rate, because this show received about 165,000 pay-per-view buys. I thought they're going to get more than this. I thought they'd probably get like 200 into that 200, 300 mark, but 300,000 mark. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But yeah, it's a shame why they never made more. Yeah, you had NXT doing Canadian themed shows, like the NXT Toronto Takeover Toronto shows. I think the last WWE pay-per-view in Canada was SummerSlam in 2019 in recent years, but I wish they just one of these days. I know they're doing Clash of the Castle this year, but I wish they do more international shows and bring that this home feel of this, and make it more like get more like a SummerSlam, basically a SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series feeling in those international shows. That's what I'm trying to get. So, by the way, I forgot to mention this. When Owen pins Austin, that set up their match at SummerSlam, and I think it was Austin's last time. It was one of Austin's matches with the technical style side of Steve Austin before the neck injury, and then he transformed into a brawler, and the rest is history. And yeah, and the last time, I think it's one of Austin's last time he fought with Bret, one-on-one, in a match. It was Bret's first match since he got injured by Steve Austin, like after Revenge of the Taker. But yeah, maybe they had one more time, but that was not on the same level. It's just what it is, because Bret ended up like leaving the company later on that year, at the end of that year actually, and then when Bret came back in 2010, Austin just retired. It's a shame they never had a proper. It's similar to Triple H and Steve Austin in 2001. Never had a proper blow off. Yeah, it's just a really shame that Austin and Bret never got that proper blow off to end the rivalry. It's just me, because Austin went on a feud with Owen and The Rock, and then and Vince McMahon, and the rest is history. So yeah. So anyway, so I give it 10 out of 10. Really good show. I suggest watching Canadian Stampede, man. It's a really good show. It's only 1 hour 48 minutes. It's not that long, so it's not like your other pay-per-views that last about 2 to 3 hours. I think one of these WrestleManias lasts about 5 hours. Jesus Christ. But anyway, so hope you enjoy my review of WWF Canadian Stampede. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button. Click the like, click the bell. Subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, sadly, there's no SummerSlam for the month of August of this year, because SummerSlam, by the time this video is recorded, SummerSlam 2022 is come and gone. So yeah, for the month of August, I'm gonna review some classic SummerSlam next week. Yeah, reviewing the first SummerSlam from 1988. So this is Essential Man officially sign out. Check you later, folks.